All right. Hey. Sorry about that. I was just
good.
thinking about something.
Yeah, no worries.
That was one of the orphans that called earlier.
Yeah, I assume so. Yeah.
Okay.
Why? What happened?
Well, I was pretty sure it was an orphan, but it was a little like out of context. So, you know,
Well, it should have been. I mean, we scheduled something up, right?
yeah, no, it
So,
was good. I just wanted to
okay.
double
Okay.
check.
Yeah. I thought they like offended you or something.
I don't know if I get that easily offended, to be honest.
Oh.
You think it was trying to offend me?
No. Yeah, just making sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of offense, actually, I've been trying out some of the cars. Trying to upgrade them or whatever. And I try out this Oracle. Looks like an old school BMW. Does not go over 160. But anyways, as I'm driving it around, I end up running into somebody. And they get out and he's like convinced we're trying to take down Bruce Baylor. And I'm like, who told you that? And he said Bruce did. So I think we became the centerpiece of this little how long has it been? Hasn't it been like 2 months?
Since the Bruce thing? Oh my God. It's about 2 months.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So I went through the entire docket thing, Princess. I imagine that caught you by surprise a bit.
I'm going to be honest. My initial reaction was, oh, I'm surprised it took this long.
I brought it up to a couple folks, Turner, Maxwell, etc. Mostly under the guise of like, explain to me how I'm supposed to be happy with the state of the police department when someone can do such brazen crime, right? And there's not even scrutiny. And I left that as the litmus test, right?
Yeah.
It's not about conviction. That's important, but it's not the issue. If there's no scrutiny, nothing matters. How can you stand on any leg and be like, oh man, VAF, for example. Oh man, the engines. Oh man, the this, the that, the... And I said it's disappointing that no one's looked at it. And then when asked, they say someone's looking at it, and they never did. Fucking bullshit, right? That when... And I said, I'm not going to buy any of these bullshit excuses about the sheriff didn't know, the BCSO didn't know. You are either so far up your own ass on copium, right? Or you're just something else is wrong. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way you don't know this. Like, it's happening right in front of you. The fucking gas station's right next to the BCSO. And I told him underlinedly, this isn't about her. It's about y'all ignoring it. In the same way, a lot of officers ignored just blatant fucking terrorism happening right in front of us. And quite frankly, if someone tomorrow bombed the goddamn PD, I don't give a fuck at this stage, right?
Yeah.
But why? Because this is where they are. This is what it is. I don't think there's any solutions, only excuses.
I guess my other question that came to mind was, this is the mayor of Blaine County. This is Blaine County's budget. Are the BCSO too fucking pussy to push this themselves?
Who do they got? When's the last time Blaine County's actually succeeded in pressing any charges?
Well, they haven't, but I mean, that isn't really my point, right?
Yeah.
My point is that the BCSO over the last year, Nino, have built this reputation about not giving a shit about Blaine County. So it doesn't really surprise me that it's the LSPD bringing this forward and not the BCSO. You know what I mean?
You're not wrong. This guy Wes, you remember we met him over at the Liquid Library a while back?
Yeah.
Did a pretty good job.
I would say, yeah.
The guy's still a cadet. Did you know that?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And I'm glad there are people like that exist. I just hope he doesn't turn into another Aaron. And specifically what I mean by that is they make him do everything instead of making your people that they are getting the privilege of being law enforcement in this county to do some of the heavy lifting. Right? I mean, but let's talk about the case and then we can talk about the other garnishes, I guess. Did you have a chance to look through it all, or?
I did, yeah.
Okay. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it.
Oh, where to start? Let me pull up my notes.
When they used to Craig,
You want to start with the criminal case?
Sure.
So I went over the criminal case. I looked at the evidence. To me, at face value, it's pretty obvious there was direct involvement between Princess and the League of Evil, the low E. I think Wes did a good job of painting the picture of misuse of public funds. There was the instance of some upcoming terrorist attacks, I believe. And at minimum, he made the case that Princess failed to alert authorities, which I would argue is dereliction of duty. That's more on the impeachment side, but nonetheless, the point still stands. All in all, on the criminal case, I thought Wes did a pretty good job. I think he tied up a lot of loose ends, especially with the stuff around the League of Evil. I thought he tied them up quite nicely. But I don't know. Like all things, Nino, we see on the docket doesn't really matter because it all plays out in court, right?
Yeah. So on the matter of criminal, I actually don't know if they have enough.
There was some sealed evidence on that one, wasn't there? I don't know what it was.
My only suspicion is it's the full transcript, financial and whatnot.
You think that's what it is? Well, maybe. I'm reluctant to lean one way or another.
Or you know what? It could be interrogations.
It could be that. Yeah, you're right. I don't know. Maybe not broad sweeping. The embezzlement's going to be tough because the legislation kind of gives her carte blanche to do whatever the hell she wants legally, right? So she may not be convicted of a crime over the embezzlement, but I think it's going to weigh more heavily in the impeachment hearing than it is in the criminal trial. You know what I mean?
I don't think it does though, because there's no legislation around it. Only the bank one.
That's what I mean. There's no legislation around it. So legally, right? She was on the right side of the law appropriating those funds. But the case could be made in an impeachment hearing that that what she was doing was corruption, or at least was dereliction of duty to a certain extent. And I think that would carry more weight in the impeachment hearing than it would in the criminal. I think she's pretty safe criminally, I'll be honest. You might get her on accessory to terrorism.
With the criminal charges,
yeah.
I do think there's actually the argument. Well, I think the terrorism link is weak. It's strong to have a investigation, but the reality is that Wes got this on his plate way too late, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, there's no runway. This is something that would have needed meticulous inspection of those around her, right?
Yeah.
Was there communication? And that might have revealed other things, other details. Like, who knows? Like Yuri subpoena possibly having something that implicates her, whatever it might be, right? Just not enough time. One could even argue that given the severity of all this, her properties and those co-conspirators could have been raided. Who knows? It might be a journal somewhere. I don't blame them for hit West for it because he's working with what he's got.
Yeah.
But I do think they have her on embezzlement.
Yeah. Criminally, yes. I think you're right.
Because even though there is not the fact that we luckily we passed it, embezzlement is a charge statewide, and there is no exclusion in her provisions like we have. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Court center, squatters, like all that stuff is we're allowed to appropriate, and that sort of umbrellas us from those sort of allegations, right? That would be hard to fight, right?
It would be. Yeah.
But she doesn't have any of it.
Which makes the case for arguing against, or I guess arguing that there was a misappropriation of those funds a lot easier without that legislative backing.
And misappropriation would be one thing, right? Because when I think of misappropriation, I think, did you divert something knowingly towards a area that prevented other areas of government to falter, right?
Sure. Yeah.
But this is a case of her giving direct monetary and benefits to individuals, like the Paleto gas station.
Sure. I think it's both, Nino. I think you and I are both right.
Yeah.
Right. She paid $4 million for that. She did it for, let's say, a friend. And at the same time, she was crying to the world about how Blaine County doesn't have any money. Well, $4 million is money that could have been used for any number of things for the county. So to that end, I think we're both right. I think there was misappropriation of funds, but I think it was also that she was entrusted with the control of public funds and she used them for personal gain.
Guilty or not guilty, chat? This is going to be a very interesting case.
You know what? I'm going to take a wild guess, and I think they'll get her on embezzlement and probably conspiracy. That's my guess.
Yeah, actually, you're right.
Yeah.
Conspiracy does work.
Yeah.
Junior
I think
thinks.
you're right.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. You know, I was going to say, I think you're right about treason and terrorism. I think they're a little bit. There's a higher standard, and I think she'll probably get off.
Yeah.
Same with reckless endangerment. I don't see that going anywhere, but definitely embezzlement and conspiracy. What does Junior think?
Junior called me this morning, and this guy's on the yellow pages all the time. I swear to God, I put my name up and it's a bring, like right.
Yeah.
He believes that Edgar's gonna kill him and 3 Paws is gonna kill him. He was freaking out. I had to get him off the fucking cliff. I'm like, you didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
You know, she did it to herself. If you go around freaking out saying things like, yo, they're going to kill me, then you're going to manifest it into reality because You may not be on their radar. Now you are.
Yeah.
I also told them, like, hey, look, this is good for your fucking career, right? Like, you go up there, it's like, yeah, she was trying to do this shit. Like, fucking campaign on the stand.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
We have another issue. Edgar wants to run for Los Santos County, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Edgar and his fucking 127 hag charges. Yeah, wants to run for mayor.
Yeah. Well, regardless, he thinks that, right?
Uh-huh.
And when Edgar believes he can do something, he's going to try it, no matter what.
Sure.
And unfortunately, like, some dumb fucks have given him the copium that it's possible.
Yeah.
Or, to be fair, or they may know Edgar well enough to just be like, oh, just say you can do it, and then, you know. My point there is like, he wants to do it. More power to him, right? It's just, I don't see, like, and I told him this, I don't see a path for this to work unless you happen to get a judge that just sides with you, right?
Yeah.
The reason I bring that up is, and still, no one's supposed to know this, so be careful with that. This case implicates 3POS. It's going to make him look bad.
Yep.
Inadvertently, she may have screwed Edgar's possibilities to win mayorship.
I agree. I agree entirely.
And
I mean, this situation is a political
and
nightmare for all of them.
Sorry, just real quick. Squarely because she, for whatever reason, in our meeting, stated that she gave the gas station to 3POS, to which her boyfriend is a part of, to which, you know, she has on her cabinet, brother. To which she sent Edgar a direct text asking if he wanted a bomb because she had one.
Uh-huh. Sounds like conspiracy to me.
Yeah, no. So I spoke to Grayson earlier today. I said, what are we going to do about, like, legislation? And so there's going to be a discussion about possibly having Charles Danger, who is a named deputy in legislation, take over, like, temporarily.
Sure.
And I think that makes sense. In regards to that one piece of legislation we got, I honestly might be, I mean, as like a backup, we can always do it through referendum, which I think would be great.
For which one?
You know, the legislators one?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Hell, we can do the VAF one, too, if we really wanted.
Oh, yeah, I guess. I mean, we can repeal it in Los Santos County, but it'd be nice to do it statewide.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Okay. Did they have secession planning legislation?
They don't. That is something that Grayson brought up, and he's like, hey, you know, he'd been asking for it for a while. I mean, reality is it just never was on our priority list. Like, I'm going to be somewhat selfish here. That's up to the individual mayor, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
I do agree that having a backup is good, but I feel like that's inferred, right? It's also dangerous because, like, while I myself may be comfortable with giving you, like, head while I'm gone, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that in a different, you know, timeline, it was, you know, it was someone else. And I may not. They might be great at a million different things, but not what I do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if I had to give it to, well, You get what I'm saying. I don't want to name names, but
I get it. Yeah, no, I get it.
you want to drive in, chat?
Yeah, we can.
How's the jaw?
Still broken.
Well, yeah. I mean, I figured. Doesn't it take a couple months?
Yeah, 18.
18 months. Jesus.
Yeah, it's a long one. It's because they stretch out all the nerves and the muscles. It takes a while to, reconnect everything.
Oh shit.
Yeah. You know when you go to the dentist and you get frozen up, right? I'm like that, but it's from about my eyeballs down to my chin. You know when you get froze up, you have to resist the urge to start like chewing on your own fucking lips and the inside of your mouth because you're like, I can't feel shit. I'm just gonna gnaw on something.
Oh yeah.
I'm like that. Like I'm like Hannibal Lecter. I want to eat my own face right now.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You sound normal. I was expecting. I mean, I know it's been like at least a week or something to heal, but I was expecting more dribble, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, if we would have talked the first week, it would have been, trust me.